Any boat project has great tools for it. So what if you're making your own Corian countertops for the boat? Hi, I'm Nika Waters, and welcome to the Boat Galley podcast. Today I'm sharing what I think are the essential tools for do-it-yourself Corian counter construction. Today's episode of the Boat Galley podcast is sponsored by SailDauntless.com, your personalized sailing adventure in the most beautiful locations. Experience the utmost in luxury cruising just the way you want it. Get back into the sailing groove on board this beautiful 52-foot sailboat where every detail is taken care of for you. Now booking in Italy and Croatia for summer 2021. Use coupon code SD15 for 15% off any 7-night all-inclusive sailing charter in the Mediterranean, July through September 2021. Are you ready to live the dream? SailDauntless.com. Let our experience inspire yours. That's SailDauntless.com. Corian has long been my dream counter material for the boat. I love the combination of durability and style, and though we didn't put Corian into our house counter, it's something that I've really wanted to have on board ever since we bought Calypso. Back in 1992, when we first got the boat, though, Corian was only available as an installed product. You couldn't buy sheets of it. It was not something that you could DIY. And the small space and the high expense, it wasn't in the cards for us. We put in ceramic tile and sailed merrily along for over 2 decades. That tile has not been our favorite. The grout is really hard to keep clean. It seems to collect dust and dirt and just grotesqueness almost everywhere. It was super hard, started to chip in a number of different places. And so, in short, it was really time to replace the counters when we redid the whole galley anyway. We wanted a new sink, we were moving the refrigerator, it was time to just take care of the whole thing. Our friends, David and Allison, redid their kitchen and graciously offered us their old Corian counters for use in the boat. So it was spectacular because they were really happy to recycle. We were really happy to be gifted the recycled Corian counter that fit beautifully in terms of our color scheme. If you don't happen to have friends with a timely kitchen upgrade, you can find sheets and remnants of Corian at a number of places, including solidsurface.com. You could also try Craigslist or maybe even Facebook Marketplace, or if you've got a local contractor who does kitchen renovations, you may be able to save some Corian from a landfill. So finally, we are so psyched because that Corian is starting to be fit and manufactured just specifically for our boat galley. And yeah, Jeremy's doing it all. Jeremy's never worked with Corian before. He's a pretty good woodworker, pretty good carpenter, and many people say that working Corian is just like working wood. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but some of the tools that you have for woodworking definitely come in handy when you're working with Corian. Still, there's a list of essential tools for the Corian do-it-yourselfer. First off, safety gear. You definitely need a good dust mask. It's imperative because the amount of dust that comes when you're working with Corian is pretty incredible. I would also recommend a set of headphones to cut down on the noise factor. And if you're the person doing the actual cutting, you should be wearing some kind of eye protection. Glasses work in a pinch, but certainly safety goggles are better. Those shards of Corian can be pretty sharp. That dust that I talked about with lots of dust coming, if you have something that will help you with dust limitation, that's a really great idea. Have a decent shop vac running if your saw or your router doesn't have an attachable dust removal hose. The difference in the amount of snow left on the ground running a shop vac versus not is pretty astounding. Cutting gear. You can use a jigsaw. We did. We tried and we used a jigsaw very successfully on a test cut. But as we did some more research later, it became clear to us that that was probably not a great idea. The jigsaw works kind of like bashing a blade into the material, a little bit like a jackhammer. which can risk cracking the Corian. After that one cut, we decided it was not a good idea. Jeremy used both a router and a circular saw to make the cuts on the Corian, and both tools are absolutely fabulous. We currently have both a corded router and a brand new cordless one. The corded one is more powerful, but the cordless one that we happen to have is variable speed. So that was helpful too, because you can do it super fast or you can slow it down for precision and what you're dealing with. The one thing that is kind of important is the special blades and the bits that you may want to have for your tools. Corian is a very hard material. It's almost stone-like in a whole lot of ways, but it does cut relatively easily if you have the right blades. For the circular saw, a finishing blade is ideal. And for the router, yes, you can buy Corian-specific router bits, but you also can get a set of carbide blade woodworking bits and replace them if you need them or as you need them, and this option is far less costly. So those are some tools that I think are important and critical to have for working with Corian. Most of those, if you're going to be doing any woodworking whatsoever on your boat or off of your boat, you're probably going to have a lot of those pieces of kit anyway. They're just critical for working with Corian. Yes, working with this new material has definitely had a bit of a learning curve, and it takes a lot more time to get it all done carefully and well, particularly the moving the counter in and out of the boat. We're super careful because of the amount of time that's invested in it, and we carry it by actually clamping it to a piece of wood that's almost the same size as the counter so that it can't fall or you can't stress it on the wrong spots to make it crack. That would be horrible. Still, we're really excited and thrilled with how it looks. It's going to be a fabulous new addition to the galley, and we are so excited to have these new Corian counters. After almost 30 years of owning the boat, I'm going to have the kind of counters that I've wanted from the very beginning. And when we share an anchorage, I'll be really happy to show you our beautiful new counters. Thank you so much for listening to the Boat Galley podcast. If you like what you've heard, don't forget to tell your friends. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss one. And please, let us know what you think. There are emails for both of us in the show notes. Have a spectacularly safe week.